Hello, Adam.
Hi, Ed.
Um, would you like to tell me what it was like going to school in Blyth?
I think the best way to characterize it's probably just underfunding. And due to that underfunding, the school didn't really prepare the students for further education. Like a lot of the things that would come up during my time at the Blythe School, BCC, was get your C's in maths and English. That's all they were trying to get you to do, to get your C's, because that was the quota that I assume Ofsted gave to them, saying you need this many students to get the C's. And the rationale behind it was if you get your C's, then you can get an apprenticeship doing anything you want. And that's all well and good if there were plenty of apprenticeships within the area. So the thing that they were preparing students for, ostensibly, there wasn't the jobs there to actually get them there. And if you wanted to do further education, the school didn't really prepare you for that. Not
Yeah,
in my case, anyway. Some people did go to university, but other people like me needed a little bit more help getting there.
yeah. And why do you think the people of Blyth voted Conservative?
I think they voted that way because a lot of the people said, oh, well, Labour's been in charge for years in this area, so we'll give the Conservatives a shot. They just wanted change, and they saw all of the social ills that were going on in Blythe were the responsibility of Ronnie Campbell.
Right. Okay. And what do you think needs to change politically in Blyth?
Uh, Politically, thing is, I think politics is downstream from the culture of the place. So I think the thing that needs to change the politics is to build up industry again in the area, to get people socialized in the workplace and connected to one another. And then politics will change because of that. Like you don't teach people to be socialist. To be socialist comes about through uh, like you're socialized. It happens in the workplace. It happens when you're producing profit and surplus value and the skilled people are all working towards one thing, and then you see their work getting exploited.
Paradoxically, it appears to now be the Boris Johnson government that is trying to develop plans to bring in a big factory creating lithium batteries, which will provide those jobs, those skilled jobs, and maybe bring about some changes, the kind of changes that you're talking about.
Yeah, that would be fantastic if it happens. I'm a bit cynical and I think they might just be trying to run on something for the next election. Same with the train station. But you have to remember that the Tories are the ones that deindustrialized the area, and they did that deliberately to weaken the working classes. So that it must be in the back of their mind that this is a possibility that it could reawaken some sort of subversive politics from the masses.
Yeah, that's a very interesting thought, Adam. I just wonder. Thatcher was intelligent enough to know the need to deindustrialize, to weaken the unions. I just wonder if Boris Johnson in a new generation really has that insight.
It's funny how these things come about when their opposing forces are in charge, because Boris Johnson is, if the battery factory does come to fruition, it will be creating the conditions in which some sort of counter-hegemonic politics is being born in the areas that they deliberately deindustrialize to
Do,
maintain power.
do you mean kind of class consciousness on the part of the working class?
Yeah, because that's essentially what creates class consciousness when you get socialized in the workplace. And
Yeah.
the Conservatives are fully aware of this. This is why they made it a point to smash the unions in the during the 70s,
Well, yeah. During the 80s with the
80s,
miners' strike. Yeah,
70s,
yeah,
80s. Yeah.
yeah. And just one final question, Adam, if you've got any thoughts on it. There's a long tradition in Blyth of going into the military to avoid unemployment. If this battery factory opens, how do you think it'll affect the people of Blyth? And will it maybe reduce the amount of nationalism there is in the thinking of Blyth people?
I'd like to think so, because the army is, some people join the army because that's what they've always wanted to do. But a lot of my friends join because that's the only way to get an actual career and actually do something somewhat productive. So I think a battery factory would give people a different option, and it would also train them in relevant skills for the future that aren't warfare. So it would be renewable energy. And I think that adds another element to the whole class consciousness thing, because they will be creating surplus value, but they will also be creating the batteries that go on to power further things within industry. So they'll see that they're a real cog in the machine of trade. So they'll be able to recognize their power and just how much power they do have if they were to unionize and really become a force.